So here's how I would build websites with Elementor if I had to start over in 2025. Look, nowadays I'm an Elementor superhero, but before I was able to use it in the most effective way, I opened Elementor and was like, what now? Where do I even begin? I had no structure, no workflow that helped me set up my websites fast. But now, I log into WordPress, hit that Edit with Elementor button, and know exactly what to do and where to click. So in this video, I'll show you how I would use Elementor if I hadn't used Elementor before. Because if you're struggling to do basic stuff in Elementor, you might as well just give up on your goals right now and switch to Squarespace. And if you stick until the end, I'll show where to download my 45 plus pages Elementor starter guide for free. Let's start with step 1, the basics. This is the part everybody wants to skip, and it's exactly why projects get messy later. First, get WordPress clean and predictable. Set your site title, tagline, language, and time zone so date blocks and blog archives render correctly. Set permalinks to post name so your URLs are readable and don't break when you move from staging to production. In discussion settings, turn off pingbacks and anything you don't need if you're not running comments, because every unnecessary feature is another edge case to fix later. And if your site shows not secure in the browser or the padlock is missing, you're likely serving mixed content. That usually happens when WordPress still uses HTTP in the settings while their certificate is already active. Here's the fix. In WordPress, go to Settings, General, and set both WordPress address and site address to HTTPS. Save. If you enabled SSL after you installed the Elementor plugin, update old links so they use HTTPS. In Elementor, go to Tools and run a URL replace from HTTP to HTTPS, then regenerate CSS. Now let's make sure Elementor itself is set up the right way. In WordPress, go to Elementor, Settings, then open the Features tab. Turn on Flexbox Container. This is the current layout engine. Turn on Nested Elements. This lets you build real-world layouts without hacks. If you have Pro, turn on the Menu widget. It has a mega menu integrated, and you will love it. Enable additional custom breakpoints. This one is important. I'll explain later. The editor top bar is now on by default. Good. Everything else you don't use, turn it off. The next step is to install the Hello theme. It's lightweight on purpose. You are not fighting theme CSS all day, and Elementor gets to control the presentation layer. If you skip this and use a heavy theme, you'll spend hours overwriting styles you never asked for. Do this once and the rest of your build gets easier. Now let's move into the Elementor editor. Create a new page in WordPress and click Edit with Elementor. Inside the editor, click the gear icon in the top bar to open Page Settings. Under Page Layout, you have a few options, and picking the right one saves you hours later. Default uses the theme structure. You'll see the theme header, footer, and the default page title. Choose this when you intentionally want the theme frame and plan to style content inside it. Elementor Full Width gives Elementor control over the content area but still shows your global header and footer from the theme builder. This is the best choice for most normal pages because spacing is predictable and you design inside a clean canvas. Elementor Canvas removes everything and gives you a completely blank stage. Use this for focused landing pages, maintenance pages, or any layout where you don't want a header and footer at all. This is also my page layout to start every new project with. Oh, and if you still see a page title at the top of your design, toggle Hide Title in the same Page Settings panel. Now let's move on to step 2, inside the editor. This is where most of the speed comes from. The first thing I do on every site is open Site Settings and set up global colors. Start with global colors. Add your brand colors with the plus button and give them human names you'll recognize later, not hex codes. Remember the built-in roles. Primary drives headings and icons. Text is for paragraphs and menu items, secondary is applied for lists and subheads, and accent covers links and buttons. Set primary and text first. You'll use them everywhere. Start with global fonts. In Site Settings, open Global Fonts. Create 2 global presets you will actually use. Primary for headings, text for body. Pick family, size, weight, and line height. One change here updates every widget that uses these presets. Now set your defaults. Go to Site Settings, Typography. Set H1 to H3 or more, and Body. Assign H1 to your primary preset. Assign Body to your text preset. This also styles external HTML pages like legal pages without extra work. Do links next. Still in typography, open link. Set a normal color and a hover color that match your brand. If you skip this, you will get a default pink color that rarely fits. Make it responsive. Switch the editor to tablet, then mobile. Adjust sizes and line heights for H1 to H3 and body so the scale fits smaller screens. Pro tip: if you want Elementor to lead your design system, keep using global fonts and global colors. If you want your theme to lead, go to Elementor, Settings, General, and enable Disable Default Colors and Disable Default Fonts. About global component styles. Buttons, for example. Honestly, I don't use the global style settings for that. I prefer copy-paste styles per widget for flexibility. Because in the beginning, when I start a new project, the design still changes. And when I have to go back to global settings all the time, that's a bit time-consuming. I have to admit that I really like the drag and drop features of Elementor to sometimes just plug and play my way to a web design. If you import templates or use the kit library, review your globals afterward. Imported templates won't auto-adopt your globals unless you map them, and some kits ship with their own global styles that can override yours. Set your globals first, then adjust any template that fights them so everything stays consistent. That's the system. At least for now, we still have to use Elementor's global styles. In the future, when the new editor will be released, we can use CSS classes and variables. But right now, do it like this once, and every page you build gets faster, cleaner, and more consistent. Let's move on to step 3, an editing workflow you can repeat on every project. I always start on a Canvas page as a sandbox. It lets me design core sections without a header or footer distracting me. Because we just don't have them in the beginning since we're designing from the ground up with the Hello theme as the base, right? This might of course be a bit different if you use a template kit or another theme. But I always think the best and cleanest way is to build everything by myself. Also, I have full control this way. I build my hero section, then my header with the menu. I always design with Elementor Pro, so I love playing around with the menu widget and the mega menu. If you don't have Elementor Pro but still want a menu-like aesthetic, you can use the icon list widget to get a similar effect. And please, don't make this one mistake I see very often. Always choose the widget that matches the intent. If you use a paragraph widget for a section title, Google sees a paragraph, not a heading. And if you use a heading widget to fake a paragraph, the text will show the wrong SEO tags like H1, H2, and so on. That's the kind of mistake that looks small and creates hours of SEO confusion. So now, and this is important, if I'm finished with my desktop design, this is the time to make it responsive. So remember we activated additional breakpoints in the settings? Add the laptop breakpoint. Here's why. The default tablet and desktop ranges miss a huge chunk of real screens, 13 to 15-inch laptops and large tablets. Open Elementor, go to Site Settings, Layout, Breakpoints, and add Laptop. Now you can tune typography, spacing, and container widths exactly for that middle zone. Skip this step and you'll ship pages that look fine on desktop, cramped on laptops, and messy on big tablets. Add it once, dial it in, and your layout actually becomes responsive instead of just shrinking. As soon as everything is responsive, just save the header and footer as a template, open the theme builder, upload the header in the header section, apply on full page, and do the same for the footer in the footer section. Last step is to switch the original page layout back to full width. And that's it. Simple, clean, and works every time. When the header and footer are global, you free your brain to focus on page content. When they are local, you rebuild the same header 9 times and then fix the same spacing 9 times. If you want to copy the page, just save the page as template. Now you can add a new WordPress page, open Elementor, and load your template. And last beginner tip before I show you where to download the free Elementor Starter Guide, if your WordPress page shows random blog posts instead of your index page, go to Settings, Reading, and select your homepage. Thanks for watching, I hope this helped, and hear you in the next one. Before you go, click on the first link in my video description and download the PDF Elementor Starter Guide for free. And keep watching.